In Brooklyn, at the Brooklyn Historical Society, there is an exhibit called An Opening. This is an art exhibit by Camila Janan Rashid. It is a sound and art installation, and it is about Muslims in Brooklyn, both in their present and a little bit in the past. It discusses some issues that Muslims face and a little bit about what Brooklyn Muslim culture is like.
So this piece, it's pretty simple. And with a lot of these pieces, it's hard to know actually what it means without reading the description that the artist has given. So this particular piece is about creating a center for artists, specifically Muslim artists. And they wanted to create a school, kind of, so they could teach Bangladeshi art and the language, because they know that there are a lot of children and grandchildren who are the first generation to have been born in the United States, and their parents or grandparents came across, they came to America from Bangladesh. And they don't want these children to lose that culture. They want those children to be able to be proud of that heritage, be proud of their background. And it's really hard to really be proud of that if you can't speak about it, if you don't know about it. And I think maybe this piece is trying to say he worked for an undefined answer. I think kind of Muhammad worked, he did everything that Allah told him to from the Revelations, and he wasn't really sure what the end goal of all his work was going to be, and he was just trying to do the right thing and the best thing and be the best person. And I think that the people trying to build this art center to teach about Bangladeshi culture and language, they don't know ultimately what the end result will be, but they're trying to do something good and something right.
This next piece is about building a Muslim school. It was a very tough job, and they had to put a lot of work into it, but it has become a great thing. It's done very well. Now it is up to their children to make it more. They compared the school to an olive tree. One does not plant an olive tree for themselves because it takes 15 to 20 years for it to grow and produce olives. One plants it for their children, just as they built this school for their children.
So over here, the description of this piece is that their family, they had a kind of celebration of Christmas, but not traditional, I guess you would say, because obviously they're Muslim, they're not Christian. So they don't believe in it as the birth of Jesus Christ. Well, maybe they do, but they don't hold special significance to that. And they kind of celebrated it because um, she and her siblings' birthdays were just around Christmas. And they would have a birthday bush, and Santa was just a nice guy that came and dropped off a present or two. And they did it because it was kind of just American. I mean, completely regardless of religion or otherwise, it was just a thing that Americans do. And they remembered their grandparents doing the same thing. It's hard to see how that relates to the picture directly, but maybe you could see this circle as her whole identity, and maybe this block as her American identity, and that this sliver here is kind of the intersectionality. And while she doesn't do everything American, she takes some parts of the American way, like Christmas, for instance. And this relates to some of the other pieces we've seen around the exhibit, because there's a lot of intersectionality of identities. And when they were in Girl Scouts, some of the girls would say, "No, the way you celebrate Eid is not Muslim." But she would react by saying, "Who's to say? It's the way I celebrate it. It's my culture, and I am Muslim." And it's a really interesting question to ask. What does it mean to be Muslim, and does it matter the specific ways you celebrate Eid, or if you celebrate a December holiday like Christmas, just because that's part of being American? For this piece, they talk about bean pie, which is a very American dish. It's not Muslim, and it's not African American. It's very much American because it was made at the intersectionality of different identities, and that kind of has a connection to this piece over here. They talk about how they enjoy doing Girl Scouts at the Islamic Community Center, I believe. And they would talk about how they celebrate Eid and what they eat at their Eid parties. And there would be a lot of things that they have in common, like dates and water, like Muhammad did. But there were also more specific things that they did with their own culture. For example, one of the Puerto Rican scouts, her family had rice and beans. And so there's just a lot of intersectionality. And while there is a lot in common, there's also very many things that are different still.